The legendary Mr. Skin.
Dude, Mr. Skin.
MrSkin.com.
Skin, everybody.
Coast to coast from Los Angeles, Chicago, and New York, it's the Mr. Skin Podcast with your hosts Mr. Skin, Jimmy Fela, and Andrea Lowell. We want to hear from you. Call the show and leave us a voicemail at 484-SKIN-POD. Find all things Mr. Skin Podcast online at MrSkinPodcast.com.
Hey everyone, it's Andrea Lowell with MrSkinPodcast.com, and I am joined by the legendary Mr. Skin over in Chicago. What's up, buddy?
Hey Andrea, how are you?
I am doing fantastic. I'm so stoked. We're on episode 36, and it's just so amazing because we have so much fun together that it doesn't even feel like we've done 36 episodes. You know what I mean? It's still just as exciting and fresh, and I'm just so excited to talk about today's show.
36 is a fine bra size, Andrea.
What are the perfect ratio or the measurements? 36, 24, 36?
Yes, but if you had to ask me my favorite bra, I'd go 36 double D.
I know you would.
Yeah. A 34 double D is fine, but there's something. Yeah, I'll do 36. And since we're in episode 36, I'm going to go with 36 double D is my favorite bra size.
You know what? I'll take that. And it's something you kind of touched on before. You like a woman that has a womanly body.
Yes, I like curves.
Yes,
I like curves.
You like it soft, and that's beautiful. And that's what that little 36 does. It tells you that she's got a little bit of soft going on.
Curves with bush.
Yes.
Curves with bush, and I'm a happy guy.
You're old school, and I love it.
Yeah. Now with the intro, I was listening because it was like with Mr. Skin, Jimmy, and Andrea.
Yeah.
We don't know for sure yet, but it's looking like Jimmy's going to get that gig he was telling us about, his top secret gig, and I'm really happy for him. But until he 100% officially has it, we're going
to leave him in the intro.
For now, he's part of the show because of course, if he could work with us, we'd want to have Jimmy around. But if he gets this gig, he'll be gone. And like I said, we'll know more in the coming weeks. But for now, it's going to be Andrea and I. And I'm not worried about it because Andrea, you could handle nudity with the best of them. I'm not worried about it.
Well, thank you very much. And to the listeners, if you do find Jimmy on this big secret project in the near future, remember, you heard him here first.
Yes, as he goes on to bigger and better things. And he's such a talented dude. I watch, he posts his stuff from Fox on Facebook. I'm friends with him on Facebook.
Yeah.
And he always has some funny shit to say. And Fox, and he actually does a great job on the show. And I don't know what's on the horizon because all he told me is it's something pretty big, but he'll let me know. But as of now, no Jimmy, but that's totally cool. He's it's not gay porn. It's the only thing I know for sure. But
we are sure. Did he tell you that?
What it is, though, the problem is it's going to be a 9 to 5 job, which Andrew, you and I are not
equipped
we're
for.
not 9 to 5ers.
I'm like, I'm not doing a 9 to 5. Nope.
No. So anyway, because of that, he just wouldn't be able to tape with us. So
got it.
I'll keep you posted. Hey, Andrew, we got 4 inches today here in Chicago. So
wait a minute.
I know that's not quite up to your standards. Yeah. Well, I hope
4 1/4 is average, right?
Okay, good. That's good to know. But yeah, it's weird. It's weird in Chicago because I'm trying to think. What is today? Where we're taping is March 13th, but I don't think we've had a real snow this whole year as far as 2017 is concerned. I don't think we've had a sprinkle or two, but I don't think we've had a real snow. So it was kind of weird to wake up this morning and there was like 4 inches of snow in Chicago.
I mean, you gotta love that though, don't you? Like waking up to that?
I do. Listen, all the global warming stuff, it freaks you out a little when you hear this, but on the same token, it's like, geez, we had a beautiful January and February here, hardly any really cold days. And anyway, you feel a little guilty, but this is the first snow of 2017.
In March, that's crazy.
I know,
and
it's really weird.
Not to rub it in or anything, but I was at the beach on Saturday in Malibu, and it was like 85, and
right,
it got a little bit of a tan. Isn't that a miracle skin?
Yeah.
Andrea Lowell got a little bit of a tan.
Mrs. Skin was in LA this week, and she was telling me or last week, and she was telling me how beautiful it was out there. Now, have you been in snow? Like, have you been are you one of those people that has never seen snow in person, or have you been around it?
Well, California is amazing because we have like so many different climates within the state. So, you go up to any sort of ski resort or mountainous area that's an hour and a half away from LA skiing. And you're in the snow. I will say the first time I saw snow fall was when I was in Michigan. So luckily I've traveled a lot, especially domestically, and I've seen snowfall in a lot of different states. But we have snow in California. You just have to drive to the mountains. So I grew up with a mountain cabin, and I've been exposed to it for sure.
You're around it.
But I don't wake up to it, because here by the beach, we just, I'm a few blocks from the beach, and I just will never see it.
So
in my neighborhood.
You went to the beach. It was 85 yesterday. That's awesome.
It's crazy. It's awesome. It's amazing. But it's so funny because we always want what we don't have. And I'm like, I want to wake up to snow.
Well, yeah. When I was out at like 6 a.m. taking the dog out, I had to shovel his little place to go to the bathroom. And I had to shove. Yeah, it was like
when you put it that way, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. No. Hey, one other thing before we get into all the nudity, and there's tons of it. At MrSkin.com, you probably have no idea, but there's the NCAA college basketball tournament starts this week, and the brackets are going. So at our website, our guys put together a Whack-It bracket for 64 actresses. And all we did, and it's just really simple, but our guys did, I'm looking at it. It hasn't been released at our website yet. It'll be released on Thursday when the actual tourney's going, but it's really cool. They rank actresses in 4 different brackets, just by hotness and sexiness, and they let our traffic vote, and we'll see in the coming weeks who wins. But I was just looking like Scarlett Johansson, who was on SNL Saturday night, as Ivanka Trump. She's a 1 seed in one of the brackets I'm looking at. And it's really cool. And all the big names you can imagine are in the Whack-It bracket. And I was looking at it, and I truly, just like when I look at the NCAA tournament, I have no idea who's going to win, but it'll be a lot of fun at our website for people to come and check out skin pics and get the lowdown on all the actresses, and then make their selection. So it'll be a lot of fun.
You're right. I never pay attention to March Madness or go to the Sweet 16 or the Final Four. I'm like, I know what it is, but I don't follow it. Now the Whack-It bracket, I can get behind.
Yes. The Whack-It bracket's more up your alley, but anyway, so that'll be coming to our MrSkin.com this Thursday, and it'll be up over the course of the tourney. And then as the different voting gets done, we'll narrow down to like the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8, and Final Four and all that. So,
and I can't wait. I can't wait to hear what puns you come up with for those final
I'm sure,
whittling downs.
Yes, I will keep you posted on that.
Please do.
Anyway, Andrea, there's so much nudity to get to, and I have to let me start real quick by getting into the last week. In the podcast, I told you we had new seasons of 2 different shows coming out Friday. And what happens with these shows is these are like Amazon and Netflix shows. My guys immediately have to go through all the episodes to find out if there's any nudity. So one of the shows that I talked about last week that was coming out on Friday was Hand of God, season 2 from Amazon, starring Ron Perlman, who plays a morally corrupt judge. And he has a breakdown and thinks God is like compelling him to become a vigilante. And the other was season 2 of Judd Apatow. He's the executive producer of Love, starring Gillian Jacobs and Paul Rust on Netflix. And both of these first seasons, their rookie seasons, had really good nudity, but I'm sad to report my guys went through all the episodes on Friday, and the best I have for you is a brief right nip slip in Love from a 64-year-old actress named Nancy Youngblood, and it was weird. I just was assuming we'd have a ton of nudity from that to talk about today, but neither was any good. I know Hand of God was completely non-nude. There was a bikini scene from Alana Ubach, but anyway, the bottom line is the only thing from 2 pretty strong shows for nudity in season 1, the only thing from season 2 was this Nancy Youngblood. She's smoking a cigarette and her right boob's hanging out, and she kind of looks kind of homeless. She's not, but so season 2 takes a number 2 as far as I'm concerned.
Now, in
both of these episodes,
in your professional opinion, this 64-year-old Nancy Youngblood, do you think that was a scripted nip slip, or do you think that was
Yeah,
really
a
true nip slip?
Our guys said that was a nip slip. I think
because it's big. That's why I'm asking. It's like her whole titty is kind of hanging out.
This is like a whole titty nip slip, but I think it's more. You
think it's a real one?
I think it was a nip slip, but when you're wearing a kind of super low cut thing like that, and no bra, you're like, you don't care either way type of thing. So
I hear you.
You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, it's supposed to be funny in the scene. So
got it.
So the answer is, yeah, it was supposed to happen.
Okay,
so,
cool. It's just, because it kind of shows, it adds on to her kind of disheveledness of the character. Like, yeah, my titty's hanging out and whatever. And
yeah. So anyway, so I should mention that Jillian Jacobs had a couple of nice non-nude scenes in Love.
Okay.
One was very hot. She was in a bra getting eaten out, which was very sexy, but it was non-nude.
Okay.
If you do want to see her naked, check out a movie she did in 2008 called Choke. At the 35-minute mark, she is topless, so she has been nude. And anyway, I just had higher hopes for these two shows, so
I'm
I
sorry
promoted them
you feel
last
let
week.
down.
I did want to update our podcast listeners, because I did promise we'd update those two shows. But
yes.
Bottom line, no nudity. So
darn it.
Yeah, I know. So next, I wanted to mention I have Skin Scouts at the South by Southwest Film Festival.
Very cool.
And that we do this. It's been a pretty cool thing. And I think they go to Toronto, South by Southwest, and then what's the other one? They
Sundance?
go to CPD. Oh, yeah, Sundance.
Yeah.
So I have always have guys there, and it's been awesome for us because these guys go and they sit and watch every single movie at the film fest.
That's nuts. Because there's so many.
There's so many, but the beauty is these are movies that'll be out later in either 2017 or beyond.
Right.
And we kind of get the first crack at like what celebrities are doing nudity. So I always get a couple of great nuggets from each of these film fests. And for us, we get all these people that come to MrSkin.com and they expect, they're fans of nudity in film, so they kind of come to our website and read our blog and see what's going on. So when we have these guys out there, they literally will like watch a movie, go back to their hotel room, write up a report, and send it out with the times of the nude scenes and what happened. And,
that is fantastic.
And again, these are movies no one's seen other than people that go to the fest. So it's kind of like breaking news. So here's what we have so far from South by Southwest.
Okay.
My yesterday on Sunday, one of my Skin Scouts saw a movie. Well, he breathlessly reported that Noelle Wells, who, do you remember her from? I know she was on SNL for a season a few years back. She was also in that Netflix series, or still is, I think it's still going, called Masters of None with Aziz Ansari. And she's like his love interest in that.
Oh,
and,
yes, I do. Because I remember that scene. Yeah, totally.
Yeah. And she's, wafy little girl, but beautiful. And I remember she did like on SNL, she was like Kylie Jenner, Reba, what's that? Reba McEntire. Reba McEntire was another. Yeah.
I was like,
Reba
that would make sense.
McEntire. Yeah. And she's, and she's really pretty. Now, she's never been naked before, but I get this thing that there's a movie called Mr. Roosevelt, I'm sorry. What was the name of the movie? It's, it makes it, hold on. Also known as the first, it's called Mr. Roosevelt is the name of the movie. So again, I haven't even seen this. This is just these guys reporting to me. And, Andrea, this is the first Noelle. This is, Noelle Wells' first nude scene. So I'm very happy to report that at the 56-minute mark, of this movie, Mr. Roosevelt, we get to see Noelle Wells, naked. She shows breasts and then shows a little butt. So in the world of celebrity nudity, someone from SNL that's been in television, it's a big thing. So that was pretty cool. So we know this is going to happen. When the movie will come out, I don't know, but we know it exists, and she's naked, and she's already been updated at MrSkin.com for brief nudity. But according to him, it's a very nice nude scene. So we're very excited. And like I said, that happened at the 56-minute mark. Why we need the times of this when the movie does not exist in any way, shape, or form to be seen in a movie theater or a DVD, that isn't, I don't know, but
because you're thorough, Mr. Skin. You are thorough, and that's why people love you. You have it to the second, to the minute, and that's what we come to you for.
Well, thank you very much. Well, thank you very much. And then he also said that there's a John Goodman, Charlize Theron flick called Atomic Blonde.
Okay, tell me about the Atomic Blonde movie.
Let me just tell you what's most important. It's John Goodman does not get naked, but Charlize Theron has a really nice topless scene, and it's like in the first 4-minute marks. It's at the 4-minute mark. So early in the movie, we get to see one of the most beautiful actresses in Hollywood. Topless. Sounds like a cool movie, Atomic Blonde. I don't have many details on the movie because, I'm paying these guys just to get me nudity reports, not to give me synopses of the film. So anyway, the bottom line is what we care about here at Mr. Skin is that Charlize Theron is topless and added to her already Hall of Fame career in nudity, and we'll be able to check that out. And like I said, both these movies, not sure yet when they'll be out, but probably sometime in 2017. So good. This is good, and I'll keep you posted, Andrea, because there's a lot more movies. These are just the first day or two.
Yeah, this is the first run.
Yeah, so this is that's hot off the press. So I will.
That is hot off the press because, as you said, Charlize has a big, large, vast body of nude work, and just to be able to add another A-list star and to increase that list, I love it. I just hope she never stops getting naked. She's one of those people that every time she gets naked, I appreciate it just as much as I did the time previously. Because she doesn't have to, and she does.
Yeah, and our guys, some of the pics that you can see that I have up for you to look at while I'm talking about this. This is from the Red Band trailer of the movie, so you could see she looks gorgeous. She's kissing another girl in this scene, and we'll be all over Atomic Blonde when it comes out. But anyway, that's the first crack at the nudity from those movies from South by Southwest. So,
very cool.
Now we had a ton. Or I shouldn't say a ton, but a really good night since I last talked to you from the television nudity stuff. So I'm going to go back a few days. I know I think the show airs on Wednesday nights on FX. It's called Legion.
Okay.
And I didn't know too much about it. It's a superhero Marvel comic show. And it's on FX, and I'm not a big superhero comic guy at all. It's like, it's kind of like an edgy superhero show from what I understand. Mm-hmm. But what was really interesting, they're in their first season, and their 5th episode last Wednesday. I'm pretty impressed with this nudity. It's the star of the show is Dan Stevens, who's I think is in or going to be in that Beauty and the Beast movie.
Okay.
And then Rachel Keller is the female lead in this. And there's a scene where look at Rachel Keller laying in bed completely naked. Now she's...
Oh, I'm looking.
Yeah, she's stomach down, butt up. And the color is weird because it's like superhero stuff. So it's part of the reason you get these weird coloring.
Yeah,
but then
she's style.
She's walking around with like a blanket, but then you see her butt again. And I got to tell you, man, this is pretty good nudity. And Rachel Keller, being the star of this show, hopefully... her career will continue to rise. But I was surprised how good this nude scene was, and it happened last Wednesday, but I wanted to share it in today's updates for the podcast.
Yeah, I love that, face down, ass up look.
Yep,
and Rachel Keller nailed it.
Yeah, and I think she was on Sons of Anarchy also, but I know her because she did a nude scene, another face down, butt up scene in Fargo season 2, and I love Fargo. It's one of my shows I really dig, and she played a great character. But this kind of surprised me. I wasn't expecting this because it's not FX will have nudity, but because of it's a Marvel, you know what I'm saying? I didn't think we'd get a nude scene.
Right?
Yeah. So FX is always surprising me with good stuff, and this was awesome. So if you haven't seen this, Rachel Keller, very cool nude scene from Legion. I know Howard Stern was talking about this on the show today, that he watches this show also. So anyway, that was pretty cool. Now, on HBO, I've been talking to you since Big Little Lies debuted on HBO.
And there's been some good stuff on that show.
Yeah. And last night, Nicole Kidman, and now this is a thong scene, but I don't care. It's like she's in bed with that Skarsgård dude that she's married to on the show. And she just rolls over and she's wearing like a little, what do you call that kind of shirt, Andrea, that she's wearing, that gray? I don't know. It's like a little...
it's just like a t-shirt,
yeah,
right?
Yeah, but, well, yeah. I don't know if it's a tank top or whatever, but it's not a wife beater. But it's anyway. She's in this little gray shirt, but it's hiked up, and you could see total thong action as she rolls over and gets on top of him. And I got to say, Nicole Kidman, so there's been 4 episodes of Big Little Lies. Nicole Kidman, 3, well, I'm counting this for our purposes as nude, because it's like you see her whole ass, even though there's a little bit of thong in there. But 3 out of the 4 episodes, we've seen Nicole Kidman's skin, and I'm very impressed with her, stepping out. She didn't have to. She's a big star. She didn't have to do nudity in this thing.
No.
And, she's gone above and beyond.
And she looks incredible. And the thing I love about this thong shot is because Nicole Kidman has that fair, beautiful, delicate, alabaster skin, this thong is almost the same color as her skin. So if you just glanced at this, you would think she was completely nude.
Yep.
From the waist down. And I almost think it might have been intentional. Like, this may have been an intended implied nude scene. And we just have it frozen and can see it's an actual sheer nude colored thong.
You bring up a good point. This happens a lot where if you watch this scene, it's not as easy to tell that she has a thong. But of course, we freeze it at the best moment, and you could see the very top.
You can see like the seam of where they sewed the thong together, but it's like a sheer, probably like a very fine mesh material that's meant to kind of blend in with the skin for either 2 things: to give the illusion you're not wearing one, or to have no panty lines. And I think they were probably going with the illusion of not having one for this, but I like it. I like it regardless of anything. And I'm very impressed with her.
I have these 4 episodes TiVo'd. I want to just check. I want to check the shot. I'm a little intrigued by it now. Nicole Kidman plays the mother of it's like all these first graders, I guess, and Shailene Woodley is like a single mom on the show. By the way, she had great nude scene last week, and they did a flashback. I didn't put it up for you today, but they did a flashback to her flashback nude scene from last week, and so it was the exact same scene that they showed. So Shailene Woodley had a really sexy scene. Well, she had another one where she was laying on the bed showing her butt that I really loved. And Reese Witherspoon is also one of the moms on the show with a kid. She has yet to get naked, but we will keep you posted on that, Andrea.
Please do.
So, yes,
and
Big
she's
Little Lies.
never been naked, right? I can't recall.
Reese Witherspoon?
I can't recall seeing her boobs ever.
Oh, no. She did a movie called Twilight in 1997 when she was like a sophomore in college. She was an unknown actress. And yes, we saw Reese's Pieces. 2 minutes. 2 minutes in the Twilight. It's and she looked great. She looked beautiful. I mean, she's always looks good to me. But
she has that girl next door sweetness to her.
Oh my God, yeah. It's really sexy. Paul Newman was in the motel room. It's a weird. It's pretty wild to see.
With a 19-year-old Reese Witherspoon.
He was like, if I remember correctly, he was a detective or law enforcement of some sort, and she had done something, and she's walking around topless in this motel room, and she doesn't know he's in there, so he's just standing there with his arms crossed, and then she realizes he's in the room. But she looked great. It's a great nude scene, but she was completely unknown. No one knew her back in 97 or 98 when that movie came out. So,
gotcha.
So we'll see. We'll see if she does a little nudity.
Right.
Anyway, Girls, which is in their 6th season, 5th episode, has a interesting storyline going on. So Adam Driver is with Jemima Kirk on the show now.
Okay.
And they're boyfriend and girlfriend. And he used to date Lena Dunham, Hannah, in the when he was first introduced to the show a couple seasons ago. Now, for some reason, and I'm not caught up on my girls either, but for some reason, he's making a movie. Somehow Jemima Kirk talked him into making a movie about his relationship with Lena Dunham. So they have to get an actress to play Lena Dunham, and he's playing himself.
Oh, that's really funny.
Well, what's weird is they got this Daisy Egan. Now, you might remember her. She was like a little girl in like Losing Isaiah and Ripe. These are movies that came out in the 90s.
Yes.
And
wow.
She was like kind of a child actress that is weird. Like, I didn't even know that she was back in. I thought she retired because she didn't have any credits. We looked today and it confirmed she didn't even have a credit for 5 years. I don't know what she's been doing the last 5 years. But
she's out of retirement now.
Well, let me tell you, when you play Lena Dunham in a movie, you got to show some nudity, right? And she's like a hot version of Lena Dunham because she kind of looks like her in a weird way. When you watch this scene, and by the way, Andrea, I want you to make note of her red butt cheeks, and I'll explain why she has red butt cheeks. Okay, I'm
taking a physical note right now with my pen. Okay, red cheek note. Okay,
yes, make a note of that.
Noted.
So, in the scene, she's seducing Adam Driver. And now this is with a full camera crew, sound crew, everything. So you're watching the scene and she is trying to seduce him. She's wearing a wife beater tank top with nothing else.
Love it.
Her butt. She's like seducing him. She leans over a table and then is like, come on. I can't remember. She calls him Adam, but whatever. She calls him over. And now he's all revved up, but he starts spanking her, but he like spanks her really hard. And while I was watching it, I'm like, it doesn't look like he's faking the spank, So then he picks her up and her full butt's exposed. And we were looking at this in the Skin content room, and complete red butt cheeks from the spanking. So he totally was hitting her in real, you know what I'm saying? Like he was spanking her in real life because you can't fake those red butt cheeks.
That's hot. That is fucking hot. When someone's really getting it.
He spanks. Right?
Yes, I love it. That's great.
So it's a really good nude debut from Daisy Egan, who we had completely lost track of, and all of a sudden shows up playing Lena Dunham in Girls and does an awesome nude scene with Adam Driver last night. So that was pretty cool.
That's a great way to get back into Hollywood. Like, hey, I've been gone for a while, but damn, I'm back. I'm playing Lena Dunham. I'm naked. I got a red ass. I got great nips.
Yeah, you should. You got to watch the video of this on our website because Adam Driver. I mean, it's hot. Like you could tell like he's fired up for this scene and she's really seducing him. So it's like, and what's cool is like they start making out and going nuts and Jemima Kirk's like into it. And you know what I'm saying? Like she's his girlfriend. Yeah. And it's really, anyway, it's a pretty hot scene from Girls last night. And the surprising Daisy Egan coming out of retirement to do this great nude scene, which was awesome.
Bravo, Daisy. Bravo.
One other thing from last night, there's a show on E called The Arrangement.
Now, I've heard of this show. I've seen some teasers for it. I have this issue where it's like, I don't personally want to watch anything on E, but I was like, ooh, this looks like it's kind of good because it looks like this show is in some way doing a parallelism to like Tom Cruise and Katie Holmes.
Yes, I was going to say, because what I understand, and of course, I haven't watched an episode.
Right,
this
nor
is just from my content guys, but according to them, she has it's Christine Evangelista.
Okay.
And
who's
that's
the lead?
The actress's name. Yeah, and she is not Linda Evangelista, Christine.
I was hoping when I saw Evangelista, I was like, ooh, is it supermodel titties? But
yeah, she's been in. I know she was in a couple episodes of Walking Dead and different things. I don't know how people would know her, but now she's one of the stars of the show. So I guess Josh Henderson is also the guy. But basically, Josh Henderson plays a big time, like celebrity,
time, like
A-list Tom Cruise or something, and he offers her $10 million contract to get married. And it's about her life married to this big time thing. So, this big time star. So in last night, it airs on Sunday nights on E, they had her in the shower and also in a thong in this guy's place, and pretty hot stuff from Christine Evangelista. And,
I agree. She's got a killer body. And this is one of those girls that you want to see more. Like just the shape of, she's petite, but just the shape of her body so pretty. And I'm satisfied seeing her back and shadowed with the thong, if that makes sense, because she's so beautiful. Like I don't need to see more. And then her naked in the shower through the steam. I mean, that to me is like, I look at this shower scene and that's like a fantasy, you know, having a big, beautiful bathroom like that and a big steam shower going. It makes you want to jump right in with her. So I'm very pleased.
I'm going to go with the theory that every girl with the last name Evangelista is hot.
Yes.
Now that I've seen two Evangelistas naked. So,
and I know people personally with that last name, and they've all been hot. I'm like, is there an ugly Evangelista out there?
No,
if
send us an email. You don't see an Evangelista walking around Walmart, is what you're saying. So,
no.
Anyway, also, hey, one last thing too. I was reading, someone sent me an article today from the New York Daily News, one of our writers, and it was so cool. So Tandy Newton is
one of our faves.
Course, we've talked about her a lot on Westworld, and she's gorgeous. The black, kind of the girl that is the host or robot that runs the
brothel?
Whorehouse.
Yeah.
The brothel.
Like, how do you want to say this delicately?
Yeah.
She's a hooker.
But a big time call girl. Beautiful. So anyway, she said in this article that she's more comfortable acting in the nude than in her, saloon costume on Westworld. And I thought that was pretty great. She was saying that because when she's naked, she just feels more empowered. And I just wondered, like, in your times of, you've been in front
being
of the camera
dressed and not being dressed.
Do you ever feel any of that, what she's saying here? She just feels like,
yes.
Okay, and maybe you could explain what she's saying here, because she says that, like, when she's in her costume and a pushy up bra, and that it's kind of like objectifying women, but when she is completely nude, she just feels like this raw power. And I don't know, to me, I'd be the opposite. I'd be all like, scared. But to her, that's how she feels. I just thought it was interesting. It bodes well for the second season of Westworld, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, so. I think it really boils down to the deep inner core and spirit of the individual actress. Some people really need to be cloaked and pushed up and stuffed in and whatever, tied up with a corset to make them feel super sexual. She's pretty much saying, I love being me. I feel more sexy when I'm me, rather than an idea of what is sexy, even though it was a timepiece. But back in the day, having your boobs stuffed up to your chin and being tied into a corset and having, a big full skirt that makes your hips look bigger was that ideal of what hot and sexy was. And trust me, we know she looks great in that brothel outfit. But to her, she feels the most empowered and the most raw sexually and the most comfortable when she can just be herself. I think it also doesn't hurt that she's completely banging a 10 out of 10 on the nudity scale. So when you are naturally gorgeously naked like that, you probably will feel better when you're not stuffed into a costume or trying to fit the ideals of what the culture tells you sexy should be. So I totally understand her, and I actually do feel the same way for the most part as an actress.
Yeah, and it was interesting because you just don't, it's just one of those things you don't hear actresses, act like it's so cool to be naked. You know what I'm saying? They're always like, I had to do it, or I did it for the role,
or the money.
She's just, the money, whatever it is. But she was like, she's into it, which is, like I said, great. And we
it's
couldn't
rare.
Be bigger. Yeah, exactly. And we couldn't be bigger Tandy Newton fans than we are here at MrSkin.com. So that was cool. I just wanted to show you that article real quick. Hey, I have a couple other things to get to.
Please do.
Like I said, there was a lot of stuff. First of all, there was a movie that came out this weekend called Kong Skull Island. It did $61 million over the weekend. It's a King Kong movie.
Okay.
And there is the beautiful babe in the movie. The main girl is played by Brie Larson.
Okay.
And it was interesting. I was, I bring up Howard Stern again, but I'm always listening to the show. Last week, I guess she was at Sirius Studios promoting, Kong Skull Island, and all the guys from the show were like, "Who's that gorgeous blonde?" And they were saying, "Oh, that's Brie Larson from the movie," and they were all going nuts about how beautiful she looked in person. And she is a gorgeous girl. Mm-hmm. I remember her, when I first noticed her, was there was a show called United States of Terra on Showtime.
Yes. Okay.
Yeah, she played Toni Collette's like sarcastic daughter on the show, and I thought she was like quirky, but she didn't like. She's actually over the last 4 or 5 years become even
like beautiful.
Yeah. And anyway, so she played the daughter on there, and the sarcastic one, and that's when I first noticed her. So now she's, this is a pretty big movie to get a lead role in, and so her career is, taking off big time. But
yes.
I went ahead and I sent Gary from the Howard Stern Show a shot, because she's never done an official nude scene. But
how old do you think she is, Skin?
So she's probably like I don't know, 25, 26, if I had to guess.
Okay.
20, yeah, maybe a little. Well, she was born in 89. CP, what does that make her? You're CP,
28? I'm so bad at math too.
Yeah, she's about 28 years old.
Okay.
Yeah. So anyway, looking great. But I sent Gary from Howard Stern. I go, you guys were all talking about Brie Larson today on the show. Do you guys know that she did this movie a couple years back, probably about 5 or 6 years ago, now I guess when she was in her early 20s, called Trouble with Bliss? And look at that thong action as she's walking out of the room, Andrea. I just love this thong scene.
Well, first things first, I'm sure you made everyone at Stern's day by sending them this photo, because this is such an obscure scene. And no one would have known. And second, what a great backside. I love the white and red polka dot thong. Yeah.
Yep. Yeah, because it's not just the great ass. Doesn't she have an awesome back, like her lower back? You know what I'm saying?
Yes. I am the biggest fan of backs. I think back, and you heard it here first, I think back is going to be the new butt. There's always body trends that go on.
I'm writing that down.
Yeah,
Hold on.
I swear to you,
back is the new butt.
You guys know I'm a personal trainer and all these other things, and people really want that hot, sexy back. And people ask, how can I get, the definition by my, by that S curve in the bottom and get the little dimples. That's typically genetic, but people want that sculpted, almost that Hilary Swank Oscars, however many years ago, backless dress back look.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that back is a new butt. And I've always been a fan of a beautiful female back.
Back is the new rack.
Please.
Back is the new rack.
Yes.
Okay, I'm going with that.
Especially because we have like the equivalent of those nips with those thumbprints that we love on the bottom. So
thumbprints are big. Yeah.
Yes, baby. I love that.
I'm driving around and listening to Howard, and then I hear them talking about Brie Larson. So I was like, oh man, I got to get to the office so I could send Gary a picture of Brie Larson in a thong. So anyway, that's anyone out there that's, and obviously a lot of people saw Kong Skull Island over the weekend.
By those numbers,
hot girl is Brie Larson. You could come to MrSkin.com and check her out. The movie was Trouble with Bliss from 2011. I can tell you there's no trouble with ass and Trouble with Bliss. She is gorgeous, and it's a great thong scene, so I wanted to share that with everyone. So
thank you.
Anyway, last but not least,
there
is, so last week, Joey that runs my content department was all excited because, and rightly so, there's a classic movie from 1988, a classic from the standpoint of what I do for a living, a movie that is in the Mr. Skin, highest rating, 4 stars for nudity. And it's called Aria, and it came out in 1988, but they released it a week or so ago on Blu-ray.
Oh, my Lord.
We've never seen the pics and vids from this movie in this level of clarity. I always loved this movie for the nudity, but never had I seen it in Blu-ray quality. So anyway, let me give you a little background on it. So this is like back in the MTV music video era, 1988. This movie was an attempt to kind of make music videos out of, like famous opera pieces. And they had like different big time directors direct a segment. So it was weird. It's very weird. It's like, for me, it's not my cup of tea as far as a movie goes, but nudity wise, highest rating. So they got like Robert Altman, Ken Russell, Now, these guys have done some big time movies as far as what I do for a living. Robert Altman did Shortcuts. He did Ready to Wear and a bunch of other stuff.
Okay.
Ken Russell, Lair of the White Worm and The Devils, 2 movies that great nudity in both of those. So here's the key, though. Both 2 of my favorite actresses, Elizabeth Hurley, who was just 22 years old, and Bridget Fonda, who must have been like 22 or 23 at the time.
2 of my favorites, too. Absolutely 2 of my favorites.
Both very naked in this movie, and now we could see it in Blu-ray, incredible quality. Check out Elizabeth Hurley's rack.
Oh, my God.
And yeah, I want to stress, Elizabeth Hurley would go on to be, pretty well-known supermodel and actress, but she was a little more, this was like before she was, I don't want to say before she was modeling, but her body was more full, like her boobs are ridiculous.
Yeah.
And she just had a couple more pounds on her, and to me looked the best she's ever looked. And she really was one of the most famous model actresses in the 90s. Like, she was super huge, but this was 1988. She was 22 years old and did this movie. But look at the rack on Elizabeth Hurley.
That is absolutely sensational. And, there's always been kind of a lot of discussion of like, are her boobs real and whatever else? They are clearly real. And to see the comparison of the old format and now the Blu-ray, it is mind blowing. And she's always been a favorite of mine. Bridget Fonda has always been a favorite of mine. And to see them both in this clarity, but oh my gosh, Elizabeth's boobs are just magic.
Oh, they're spectacular. It doesn't get much better than 22-year-old Elizabeth Hurley topless. Now, what I had to write this down because it's so weird, but so the sequence she did, like her opera music video, was directed by a guy named Bruce Beresford, who actually went on to do Driving Miss Daisy, believe it or not. Her sequence, now I had to write this down, is called Gluck das mir Verbleid from Die tot Stadt. So this is what I'm talking about. This is opera crap that I know nothing about.
Okay. Nor do I.
They did they do this little segment, but who gives a shit?
Yeah,
it's
who gives a
Elizabeth
fuck?
Hurley just standing there at 22 years old, topless, and now in 6 times the resolution I've ever seen these. So very excited here at the Mr. Skin offices. I know Bridget Fonda, by the way, has this extended sex scene. She takes a bath with a guy. There is a little suicide stuff happening here. Don't mind the blood.
But if you're into that, you'll love it.
Yeah, she's a cut above the rest. Or a cut above the wrist as I look at this. But they're in the bath. They're in the bathtub, and we get a young Bridget Fonda's incredible naked body, and really a great nude scenes from both of these actors. By the way, there's also, check out this weird Lindsay Drew. I think this was the one that Ken Russell directed, where I don't even remember what's going on because it's been so long since I've seen this. But
I mean, defibrillation and titty shaking works for me. I don't care the context.
If you like a nice topless defibrillation scene, I got just the defibrillation scene for you. So she, this girl named Lindsay Drew, who's sporting some D cups, nice natural boobies that bounce. They do like she must have been in an accident. I can't remember what happened, but she's in the hospital, topless, with the hairnet on, scars on her face.
Yeah, stitches, black eye, the works.
Stitches, but you don't even notice any of that because she has this incredible rack, and after the defibrillation, they bounce all over. And I know I sound like a disgusting creep, but it's done in in this movie as one of the bonus things. And by the way, she may be scarred all over, but her breasts are like pristine. You know what I'm saying? Like,
and she has those boobs that
survived the accident. Yes.
No, but she has those boobs that I love. You know how I always say, like, when the areola is so close to the color of the rest of the skin.
Yes, you're a big fan of.
Blends in.
Yes.
Yeah, and you're absolutely right. She's totally mangled. She's been in some sort of horrible accident, but no one's looking at the wounds. We're all looking at this defib and her boobs, her chest rising up and then shaking down and settling. It's amazing.
Well, you're you're afraid. What do we call? We're going to call them blendiolas that you like.
Yes,
blendiolas.
yes,
because
blend them right
like
in.
Blend, yeah.
Blendiolas.
So basically, yeah, it looks like her airbags took the main impact there. So anyway, yeah, Aria is out and it's on Blu-ray, and we're all over it at MrSkin.com, and it's one of those movies I've always loved for the nudity, and now at 6 times the resolution. Very exciting stuff. So anyway, I wanted to fill you in on that, and it was an awesome episode 36. I know next week we'll have a lot more Whack-It Bracket stuff to talk about, and I'll have some South by Southwest updates from my guys out there, and obviously tons of nudity between now and then, especially on television. So Andrea.
Yes, Skin.
Yes, I can't wait for next week already. I'm already excited.
I mean, after this week, we had, the real red cheek after getting the ass spanked. We discovered the term for the blendiolas, and even a 64-year-old nip slip. I mean, I don't know how we're gonna top it, but
the full spectrum.
We probably will.
The full spectrum.
Yes, love.
Yeah, car crash nudity. We had it all this week.
Well, it's been so fun, and let's do it again next week with episode 37.
All right, you got it, Andrew.
All right.
Take care.
This concludes another scintillating episode of the Mr. Skin Podcast. Subscribe to the Mr. Skin Podcast in iTunes and never miss a show. Thanks for listening.